David, firstly a word on Callum mainly. Obviously the news came out earlier this week. A player you know well from your time even before town, working together at Crewe. Just how is Cal and how's that situation been? Another difficult one to negotiate.
Yeah, well, the truth is we found out about Callum. Callum found out about the situation a couple of days before Christmas. We didn't know what the sort of prognosis was, if you like. He then had his pre-op on the day we played Salford. He had his operation last week, and everything's gone well. Ben Mortlock and Greg had a meeting with a company yesterday that specialises in planning and recovery for athletes with cancer. So we're doing really bespoke stuff with him, and the prognosis from here on in is fairly positive. So we're hopeful he'll be back in sort of March time at some point. But listen, when you get that news, it's devastating. I've known Callum and the family for a long time. I spoke to his dad before Christmas. I spoke to Callum a day, and there was again lots of tears and upset and everything like that. So he's in good spirits. I think he realises that for such a horrible disease as what it is, it puts the sort of fear of God into you. But actually, it's one of the more preventable ones, if you like. One of the more cancers that's probably got a better outlook. He's young, he's fit, he's otherwise healthy, so all them factors are in his favour, and that's sort of what he's been told by the doctor. So we'll support him as we always do, support the family, and make sure that he gets back on the pitch as soon as reasonably possible.
It's been nice to see the footballing community all get together and supporting Callum in both situations we've dealt with in the last few weeks.
Yeah, it's been a challenge, and we're grateful for all the messages and of support that the football club and Callum's received, because it helps. It does help, So hopefully we won't have many more instances where we're relying on them nice messages, but yeah, we're obviously grateful for any support that Callum gets in this situation, or the Walsh family, going forward.
And moving onto the pitch, it's fair to say this Saturday is probably not going to be quite as chaotic as last Saturday.
I think if anybody of us were a betting man, would probably say that it's not going to be a 5-5 draw, but you never know. That wasn't the plan for last week, but then we did realise, Sean come up to me, I think I said after the game, I think it was about 56 minutes in, he said, "Are you thinking of making any changes?" And we knew that we weren't going to necessarily stop them, and we're going to have to outgun them, and we very nearly did, and we probably should have. We should have nicked it at the last minute when Donovan had a chance from the corner, although they could have had another goal. So yeah, it was a crazy game. It was, I definitely said after the game that it was a basketball game played on a football pitch, and we've got to be mindful that can't happen every week, because you're not going to score 5 goals every week, but you've got more of a chance to prevent 5 goals going in. So we've done more work on the defensive side of the game this week, and that'll continue. What I would say in the players' defence, we haven't done as much defensive work as we have done attacking work, but then we'll start to get that balance right going forward, and that's the plan.
Was it pleasing to go toe to toe with Notts County like you did in terms of that scoring? Because in previous games there's probably been not taking chances, still could have scored more, but it was a much more clinical performance. Yeah,
I think. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Notts County. I think Notts County have scored the most goals in the Football League, or I think somebody said that, or something similar. They're certainly up there. So for us to go toe to toe and look as threatening and as positive going forwards is a real good sign. You've got to caveat that with the fact that we look vulnerable to conceding goals like they did, and that's probably why they're not top of the league and they are just in the playoffs. And they've done it because they've done that all season. That's why they're up there. We've got to make sure, first of all, we are not sucked into anything below us. So we've got to make sure we get that balance right, and if we keep scoring goals and keep looking clinical like that, then I'm sure we'll be fine.
And it's almost a month to the date of when we played Harriett last month, and they've gone on quite a run since that game. Because it's sort of we didn't play them too long ago, does that contribute to part of the preparation, re-watching that and looking at that game again?
Of course. of course, but not just that. You know, there's been plenty of games between now and then. There's been probably 6 games or something between now and then. So we take that into account because it's directly against us. But you know, with their more recent performances have been good. They've maintained a level that's you know, made them in the top half of the league. So you know, you've got to give credit to Simon and the players for that. I don't think there's too much difference between us and Harrogate, but then, like I said, they're on a good run and we're not. So we've got to make sure that, you know, we play well, as we always have to, and we've got to make sure, like I said, we expose their weaknesses and make sure that any vulnerabilities that Harrogate see in us, we have the answers to that.
And it's the first away game of the new year. Obviously, we won the last away game of last year. So is that something you're conscious of building a better away form going into the new year?
Of course, it can't be much worse, can it? It's got to be better. That's the bottom line. There's no getting around that fact. Don't get me wrong. I think I've lost two away games in all competitions or something like that, because we drew at MK Dons, we drew at Newport, we beat Salford, and we've only lost to Oxford away and MK and Mansfield away. So it's like, well, since I've been here, that away record's not been as bad as what everyone sort of is telling me. You know, however, I'm sure it can be better over the longer period. So we've got to make sure that we build on the Salford performance, we build on the Newport point. You know, because it's not nothing other than a mindset thing. So we know we've performed well away from home. You know, MK Dons was a terrific away performance, and we should have beaten them comfortably. So you know, we know we can do it. We've just got to make sure that actually happens.
Another full week in training with 3 new additions as well.
Yeah.
Are you feeling like you're getting a bit closer to having more your stamp on the team with personnel and tactics?
Yeah, every day is a little bit closer, but how far that is, these things take a long time. You know, I don't want anyone to think that I just keep harping on about the same thing, or I don't know. Just, you know, 3 new signings isn't going to change everything overnight. The month of January isn't going to change everything overnight. It's every day turning up to work, getting that little bit better as an individual, as a unit, as a group, as a team. And if we do that, then we will get to where we need to be. But it's them incremental little stepping stones every day and striving to be better that will make the difference.
And just finally, how's the squad looking? Any fresh injury concerns? Anyone returning?
Yes, I generally don't. I don't speak to the physios. You know, I quite like the autonomy that I provide for them. You know, just let me know if you've got a problem. Let me know. Don't put pressure on them to get anyone back. It'll be when it'll be. Obviously, Donovan was on the bench last week and got on the pitch, which was good. I can't think of any, to be honest.
I suppose Doug will be in contention after
obviously,
joining late.
Yeah, obviously Doug, because he didn't get done in time. He'll be in contention. Yeah.
What do you think he brings, or what do you hope he brings to the team?
Clean sheets. Listen, it's unfair of me to say that because I don't want. It's not one man. It's 11, 14, 16 players who get clean sheets. But we hope he'll help in that regard. So yeah, obviously he's available.